Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Course Creator Community Podcast. I am super excited because I have not one guest on the line today, but I actually have two. I'm going to introduce each one of them one by one. So, firstly, I'm going to introduce a amazing woman in the space. Her specialty, what she essentially does, is help people make $5,000 selling their online course before it's even created. So if you like the sound of that, I recommend go and follow this woman here. Let me introduce her. It's the one and only Ms. Jen Franks Aha Go To. Jen, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So glad to be here.
Yes, that's good. I'm glad to have you here. Off the bat, Jen, if someone's heard that, they're like, yes, I need to make 5K before I've sold my course. I want to follow this woman. Where do we go to follow you off the bat?
Yeah, so you should go to my website, which is jenfranksahagoto.com. And yeah, you get all the goods over there and we can connect over there as well.
Awesome. I'll put that link in the show notes if you're listening to the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put it somewhere in the description. Now, Jen's actually been a guest on the show before, and she was really, really good. I was really impressed with her because she's also got the teaching background as well as the sales background as well. And I'll introduce my other guest in a second, who does a bit of both as well, I guess, but specializes more in the design side of things. And that way, Jen will be able to help me keep up, so I'm not overwhelmed on that side of things. But just before I introduce her, Jen, where about you're in the USA, right?
Yeah, I'm outside of Philadelphia, US.
Okay, because I never watched the news, because they've actually just banned the news on Facebook in Australia. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, it's coming up on my. There's some disagreement with what they do or whatever. So now you can't post any Australian news sites on Facebook. But just before they got banned, I was seeing there was a heat wave in America, but I think it's down the bottom, right? That's not where you are, is that right? Not a
Yeah,
heat
no,
wave, sorry, a freeze wave.
yeah, there's snow everywhere right now where I live. But yeah, we had a heat wave and we've had some folks losing power in Texas and sort of the Southwest. So it's been some crazy weather around here for sure.
Oh, well, glad to hear you're safe. Now, let me introduce our other guest. So, a little bit about this person. She helps with group program growth. She's a consultant in that space, and she's an instructional design expert. So, without further ado, let me introduce the one and only Ms. Cassie Ryder. Cassie, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me on.
No, thank you for agreeing to be our guest. And where about you're from the USA as well?
I am from the USA. I'm from the other coast in the USA. So I'm in the Portland metro area where we usually don't get any snow, but we actually just had about 5 days of snow and people are on like day 5 without power around here. Luckily I have power, but yeah, we've just been hit with the weather.
That's
Wildfires earlier this year and just craziness is happening.
Damn, we have the fires in
Yeah.
Australia. That's like every
Yeah.
summer. There's bushfires and that. But like we don't have the snow, so we only at least get one bad end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, let's get into it. What I think we do. Let's start. Tell us about yourself, Cassie. In a minute, 2 minutes, let us know what is it that you actually do. Because I've got to be honest, I have absolutely no idea what an instructional design expert is. So I'd love to hear what it is, what you do, how you help people, and then we'll get into the podcast from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, instructional design expert, I have a background in teaching and I spent over a decade in the classroom. And then now we have a son. And when he came along, I was like, and I'm done spending my time in the classroom, which is perhaps the least family friendly occupation, at least if you're in the United States. So I ventured into the online business world and started out as a virtual assistant and realized really quickly in being a participant in group coaching programs to help you grow your business and also helping my clients with their group coaching programs that there was a huge disconnect in the industry. People are running these very high ticket group coaching programs and they have absolutely no idea how to teach.
Mm,
And that's a problem because then their clients aren't getting results. So, what I help them do is design their content and their evaluation systems to really ensure that their clients are moving into action and implementing, and then helping them evaluate how effective that content is, whether their program is actually delivering on the promise that they're making, and making sure their clients are getting the results that they've promised them.
yes, love that. I'll give my 2 cents there. But do you want to jump in, Jen? Do you see similar in the space, or what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. This is so refreshing. I love this. Because, in the online course world, and rightfully so, marketing gets a lot, sort of the lion's share of the discussion. And then, which is great, like market the heck out of your course, get a bunch of people into it. And then you do need to know what to do after that. So it's really refreshing just to hear that you're somebody who focuses on that side of things and helps people with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because and the way I look at it as well, like if you've got a group coaching program or it's an online course, you're basically a teacher or a lecturer, and if you did that in the real world, like you did qualifications, you go and you need to learn how to teach, right? But in the online world, you don't really need those qualifications. So you may have someone that's good at what they do, but that doesn't always mean they're a good teacher. And that's all over the world, right? You see it. I used to be a big rugby fan here in Australia, and the best coaches here in Australia are not necessarily the best players, because just because you're good at playing rugby doesn't mean you can teach that to someone else. So I love that you're covering that space there. And let us know, and I believe you're starting something new as well, right, Cassie? Is that right?
Yeah, so I've been working with clients in a done for you fashion. So I really get into their program. I'm writing their curriculum for them. I'm creating their resources for them. I'm developing their evaluation systems. And I am a teacher. So I am like, I would rather teach people how to do what I'm doing. So I started out as a virtual assistant and really was able to grow my business when I niched down, right? So general VAs you're not making a lot of money. You're making like 15 bucks an hour maximum. It's not really even a livable wage after you account for taxes and business expenses. So what I discovered is you have to really hone your expertise, market that, and that's the riches are in the niches, is what people say, right? So I am going to be offering an online education manager certification program for virtual assistants who really want to step in and help the business owner, the course creator, or the coach, whatever that paid program looks like, to really make sure that their program is delivering on the promise that they're making when they sell it.
Yes, love that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And I love how it's going back to the promise, because, and I'm going to throw it over to you here as well, Jen. That also comes down to the sales side of things as well, right? Like nobody really wants to buy a course. Like they want to buy the result that the course gives them, right? There's maybe a few people that want to buy just to learn how to do something, but most of it, it's like, hey, I want an end result of this. Do you see that on the sales end as well, Jen?
Oh, for me,
Yeah.
sorry. Expecting to ask as well. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think in an ideal world, things are really integrated, right? That, you have a really clear sense of what your course is about, who it's for, and then you design it for that person, you market it based on that person. And so, in an ideal world, the promise and what the course is all about, and then the marketing as well, that it's really all part and parcel of the same thing.
Yes, love it. All right. Well, look, I'm a big fan of common mistakes actually. So I'd love to hear from both of you. Maybe we do one for one. We'll start with the mistakes. What are the biggest mistakes? And really, a mistake, we're not having a dig at someone, right? Like a mistake is just a learning experience, right? So I'm just going to hand it over to you to maybe do one for one, and we sort of go through two or three each. What are the biggest mistakes you'll see if you've got that person that's selling a program or a course, but they haven't got that sort of teaching background? What are some of the stuff ups we see there? What's the number one you see, Cassie?
Well, this is such a great, you said, let's think about it, mistakes as learning opportunities. And I'm like, okay, this is like the number one learning opportunity that coaches and course creators have, is understanding how people actually learn, which is not actually by hearing something. I
Mm.
mean, you can get new information into your head that way, but the fact is that there is no shortage of information in the online space. There just isn't. And so what really is going to set you apart is if you can actually guide people to implementing and giving them support and feedback.